I have a question for you. When do you pray most often? When everything's great or when everything's hard, when everything's difficult, when you're going through a bad time? Do you pray most when you're going through a good time or a bad time? Sometimes God allows difficulties to come, and one of the benefits of difficulties is they call us to pray, and they push us closer to God if we let them. Think about David. He's going through a terrible season. He hadn't done anything wrong, but he's going through a terrible season. He's running in the wilderness. He's hiding from Saul and his army. He's hurting. He's hungry, and he's in a cave. One great pastor said, "Caves make great prayer closets." And what did David do? Well, instead of running from God, he ran to God in prayer. And this is what he said. "Be gracious to me, O God, be gracious to me. I take refuge in you. I seek refuge in the shadow of your wings. I call out to you, Most High, to God who fulfills his purpose for me." He cried out to God in his suffering. He cried out to God in his sorrow. He also said these words, "I cry aloud to the Lord. I plead aloud to the Lord for mercy. I cry to you, O Lord. You are my shelter, my portion in the land of the living. Listen to my cry, for I'm weak. Rescue me from those who pursue me, for they're too strong for me. Free me from prison so that I can praise your name." This is what I know as I've studied the lives of great men and women who've made an impact for God. Every one of them has gone through very, very difficult seasons of suffering. Also, every one of them has learned to turn their problems, their pain, into prayer. Beyond that, they've made a real point of making sure that they allowed their problems to push them closer to God instead of to come between them and God. I want to encourage you, take your pain, take your problems, take your difficulties, take your sorrows, your suffering, and turn it into prayer. Use them as a reason to draw closer to God than you ever have before.